You're listening to Laugh Out Loud with Dave and JJ.
When we started the show, it was about laughing out loud. So I heard that in Pocono, there was a few ladies that were standing with another gentleman, and you were standing there talking with a gentleman as well, and Stremmy walked by in his fire suit, and the women went over to get their picture with Stremmy and came back and then didn't know who. Is there some truth to this story?
Oh, it's completely true.
Is it? Okay, all right.
I'll tell you a quick story. Joel LaBute runs the Star Coach race tours.
Yep.
And it's a really cool deal. It's all-inclusive. He picks you up at the airport. You have a motorhome right on the fence. You party like a rock star. He cooks food. It's really cool. He helps the team out also, so the team will stay with their bus to the racetrack. Mm-hmm. So there's three women that are with Joel, and I just assume, because we're up in his neck of wood, that they're friends. So, Stremmy walks by, he's in his uniform. I've been standing there talking to him for about, 5 minutes. The women, they see him, they go running over, they're taking pictures, they're all excited. So then they come back over, and Joe goes, well, you don't want a picture for JJ? They go, that's JJ? And they jump up to get a picture. I said, wait a second. You just almost knocked each other over to go get to David Stremmy. And now I'm chopped liver? I said, I don't think so. I said, you two girls are in timeout. You sit your butts down in those lawn chairs, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and now let's take a picture, but you got to wait that long. And they looked at me with this really stupid look and didn't know if I was serious or not. And like I said, I thought they were Joel's friends, that they weren't his clients. These three women had decided to come to a race, and, he was just giving them the tour because they get hot passes. So yeah. I said, no, you sit down, in 15 minutes, you sit there and think about 15 minutes, and I'll let you take a picture, maybe, if you're good.
Yeah.
And the other woman who didn't do anything, I signed her stuff, and I made it difficult for them for a while. And then I signed their pictures and took some pictures, signed their stuff. And then it was a little bit after that Joel told me that they were clients, and I was like, oh my god. Then I felt like an ass because here I had a lot of fun with them, and they enjoyed it. It was a good little time. But for a minute there, I was like, that was stupid. Way to go, Yeley. But they enjoyed it. They had a great time, and and that's just that's the fun part of it is these fans that they got to hang out the back trailer. We sat there and BS'd and had a lot of fun. But I put 2 of the 3 in timeout for 15 minutes. There was one other funny thing that happened when I was at Pocono. I was going out of the restroom, and I think it was probably before the race. And a woman came up, and she was like, I thought she said JJ, but it sounded like Jamie, and I wasn't really paying attention. She said, Jamie, would you sign this? And I thought she said JJ, so I turned around and signed it. Well, it was Jamie McMurray's hero card. And I'm thinking, I look nothing like Jamie McMurray. At least I don't think I do. So I went ahead and signed my name. I should have signed McMurray's name, and I wasn't quick enough with my wits when I did it. But, yeah, she might have taken for McMurray, but, yeah. So two little funny things that happened. And
well, it looks like some sponsorship is coming along, eh?
There's some prospects of some different things. Obviously we had the speed plant on the car this past weekend, which is a new online auction. It's cool. It's a really cool site. I've been on it. Joined up here just recently, and it's just a way for to get some pretty cool products at a real discounted price. And obviously everything with it so far has been legit. I actually know the gentleman who's starting this company. Met him years ago at the Chili Bowl. Great guy. Just trying to do something. I guess it's done a lot in Europe, and they came on board and trying to put some packages together for the race team. And then we have Catch America coming on, starting in Daytona to do 4 races. So we're just for the time being, we're just plugging away, just trying to do whatever we can. And obviously with the team owning their own engines and some of the other things, it allows them to run a lot cheaper than some of the other bigger teams. What we can run the entire race on is almost what some of these teams are having to lease engines for per event. So
right.
It just no matter what, it's tough trying to find any kind of sponsorship at this level. And I feel that you're still able to give a company the cut sponsorship at such a small dollar compared to anyone else, but at the same time, it's difficult not being able to guarantee a sponsor going into an event that you're going to make the race.
Right, unless it rains.
Certainly. Like I said, we've been on a streak since I've been in the Whitney Motorsports number 46. We've made all the races so far, and we're going to continue to try to do so. considering the team has only run the one entire race. They've run a fair amount of partial events and only making a little more than half the events they've attempted in 2010. I think it says a lot for what's going on with the program right now. And Tony Furr has really taken the team and turned them in a positive direction. He did so before I came here, and then obviously I've carried that on. It's you compare the money that is being backed to some of these teams as well as the equipment, and not to take anything away from the cars that we have here at the shop, because I think they are very nice race cars. But the horsepower is still going to be a little bit down. I know it's something that Joey Arrington's working on trying to do. The engine that we had this weekend was a different combination than what we've had, and it seemed to really to be a lot better. The problem we've had, in my opinion, and even with Tony, is because we were down on torque or horsepower combined, it didn't allow the car to be off qualifying. It didn't really allow me to be off as far as my driving. And, I've gone back, I've replayed all of the races we've run as far as qualifying, Charlotte being the closest one that we had for, almost not making the race. And, the car was off just a little bit. The line that I ran, I probably needed to run a lower line for the way the race car was, and we barely made it. Michigan, I think, is no different. The car was extremely loose on throttle. It was pretty, it was like the worst run we'd had the entire weekend, and we were still able to make it with a little bit of breathing room. And I think a lot of that was because the engine was a little bit better, and it helped, for one of the other two little places we could miss with. So, I know that they're still working on some things. Obviously having some sponsorship for big races, you may allow them to explore a couple different avenues as far as making sure we have even more power than what we have right now.
Right. Anything else going on as far as NASCAR sponsorship for the 46 or anything else happening nationwide, maybe?
Nothing concrete yet at this point. I've learned so far in the sport in the last year and a half that until it's sitting in front of you and you can touch it, then it's not real, because pretty easy to say you're going to do something and then it never really materialized. So we'll just keep plugging away and focusing 100% on the 46 car right now. I've trying to make some arrangements. Made a phone call to Ricky Rudd, who's always had a great track record at Sonoma. See if there's possibly some little tidbits that will help me get around the racetrack. The car that we're taking is a car that we purchased recently from Bill Elliott, which was also an Evernham race car, very nice race car. So, I know that Tony worked real hard this morning on the pull-down rig. As soon as I got done, the thing took off on its way to California. So, the guys have really been working their tails off, and, I'm hoping that they're enjoying making the races and the good things that have come from it, because I know that they're sacrificing their regular lives in order to do it, because there's only 5 of them. They get to the shop at 8:30 in the morning, and I don't think they can leave until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. That doesn't happen very often in the Cup Series. That's more like your regular Saturday night local short track stuff. So these guys have been busting their tails, and you can see that they need a little bit of a break. So I'm not planning on giving them one because of us missing a race. It's just it's a tough little schedule coming up here between all the traveling that's got to go on, and hopefully we'll get caught up here, and like I said, if we can come up with a little bit more money, maybe they can bring in another guy or two and just kind of lighten the load for the workload for the guys and make it where they can enjoy it a little bit more versus just working 24/7. I was in there last week, and because they work such hellish hours, I was actually sweeping the floor and cleaning up the machine shop, because by the time they get done at the end of the night, no one wants to spend another 30-40 minutes cleaning the shop up. So I've been coming in and performing the janitorial services. Obviously last time I was at Sonoma, I missed the race driving the 96 car, and we had struggled even in 08 with that car, and it was pretty limited experience from a road course standpoint for the crew chief, and the car just wasn't that good. And I'd been to Sonoma 2 times before that. I qualified in the mid-20s, ran there pretty much most of the time, and really never had any huge issues with the racetrack. So not to blame the equipment, because I'm sure that I could have made some mistakes too, but to miss the race and been off as much as we were, you have to have the right kind of race car and the right setup in order to make the thing go fast. So I know that Tony's got a lot of experience with road course cars, a lot of different drivers, and if there's something I'm struggling with, he's going to have the experience and know how to either tell him the communication, trying to fix the car, maybe something that I need to do behind the wheel is going to help the race car. So that's something I'm going to have on my site that I didn't before.
Okay, guys, have a good week.
Okay, we will. Or I will.
And JJ, good luck, Sonoma and New Hampshire and Daytona.
All right, thank you.